Legendary fighters. It was only 1,000 years since Diana LaFleur had successfully conquered the universe. Still, this did not bring peace. I mean, they were peace, but the LaFleurs now ruled by the descendants of David, as Diana went traveling the universe with Barbara. And as a result, David LaFleur's descendants consisted of all the LaFleurs that ever existed in time, due to the great time disruption that had plagued the universe ever since gauging beings' interference, and even longer than that. However, the dark cloud shadow had gathered around the LaFleur family and the empire, convinced that the Sumatrans were up to no good, and David LaFleur realizing that Nia, Diana's mother, was of Sumatran origin, and if Sumatran would return, might persuade her to surrender to him, decided to lead his people, his descendants, as he retired to Plan Utopia, to subjugate Sumatrans, killing millions in the process at a cost of 1,000 years. Now, Princeton, the new emperor of the LaFleur Empire, the 12th descendant of David LaFleur, who now rules the universe in Diana's stead, was a calm and calculated king, in that he is as calm as his ancestor David. He fights only being surrounded by UB drones. They were intelligent life forms that, you know, shielded him, whatever. Earth was discovered, and during the time disruption, this 1,000 years consisted of both times of Sudpol and Modern Dawn in the original first universe, respectively. So it was during the Dominica era, was supposed to be, where Victor, an elder, was born. It was during this time that the LaFleurs discovered Earth was in a crisis, inflicted by rising tensions by two nuclear armed powers, the United States and Russia. And Princeton vowed that he will conquer this planet and secure his full dominance in the universe. So he used a device to subsequently destroy both the United States and Russia, wiping them off the map without causing too much damage to nature. Thus, the two great superpowers were gone, and all the people that lived in them. The survivors were people who were of those countries but were in different countries. Panic soon, and that these countries were wiped out, as China was now left to be the greatest and strongest military and economic power in the world, and was about to take dominion. However, the Lord reached out to Victor and told Victor to go to the UN. There, he will meet someone that will help them in their cause to figure out this madness. As Victor arrived, who was an elder who wielded a fork-like spear, he was met by a closet Jew commander named Heidi Haynes, and her two lieutenants, Diva Puff, who was who had a very bad attitude, and Holly, an old Kozachu veteran. They were aliens from a different galaxy. As the UN new headquarters was put in Tel Aviv, Israel, as a second location, since the one New York was gone with America. So after confronting with the aliens, the UN decided like they were out options, and that they realized that they were not alone in the universe, and that a mighty empire that ruled the universe for over 1,000 years was coming to Earth to finish the job. The Khazar offered their assistance, seeing Earth's plight. This was their chance for them to gain independence, as the Khazar were a galaxy The Lorne was subjugated by everyone else, but they were tired of being subjugated by the LaFleurs especially. So Victor met with Heidi. He somehow had feelings for her, but did not understand. Because before then, he had no feelings for no other woman. So after this, Princeton, LaFleur, challenged the people of Earth to bring their best fighters, the best warriors, and the best military that was left to battle for their world. For Princeton, he sent Ricardo Guardian, the last of the Guardians, who were essential in helping the LaFleurs ruling the universe. He was the new leader. Also, he sent Colin Collagen, the descendant of Apex Colorian, who was the head of the Colorian clan of the Scholastica, who also LaFleur ally. And the subjugated leader of the Chaldeans of the Sumatran space, G. Lucayan, and their forces to be the invading force with their robotic army, which was designed by David LaFleur's specifications, as they didn't want to sacrifice too much utopians to govern the universe. The battlefield would be Mars, as they used their advanced technologies, the Lanjoskan Empire revamped Mars into inhabitable, breathable, luscious plain with rivers, oceans, lands, perfect for war, and open plains perfect for war. The Earth was stunned, as the culture provided them with equipment to travel to Mars. Everyone on Earth was stunned because Mars was a dead planet and became inhabitable in less than under an hour. They now knew that they were now up against something that they did not understand, and the culture were godsend. Victor now knew in his heart, but he had to work together with the culture and the various volunteers, the last of the Russian forces, the US forces, various other forces from different countries, and the Chinese, to be the Earth's army. The Japanese provided mechs. The tanks were from all forces of Europe. Foot soldiers were those American soldiers that were deployed all over the world now were fighting to avenge their country. And air support by the Chinese. And of course the Kozaku officers and soldiers. And along with the three leaders of the Kozaku, the female women. During the Battle of Mars, Victor is now who's chosen by God to represent his authority, went to Mars, but he also went to the Chinese, seeing that they were communists and seeing the oppression of Christians. He said to them, if Earth survived and they won, then China must abandon the anti-Christian stance and allow Christianity to be the sole dominant religion in the country. The Communist Party was reluctant at first, but seeing the overwhelming might of the LaFleur Empire firsthand, making Mars inhabitable in under an hour, wiping out Russia and the United States from the blink of an eye, without no one knowing until it was too late. China feared that they might be next, seeing that they are now the de facto most powerful country. So they agreed reluctantly to Victor's request. This was a chance to bring Christianity from being persecuted to being widely accepted. The whole world watched as it was being broadcast, the battle for the fate of their world between enslavement and freedom. As Victor marched, and dozens of officers and soldiers went with their blasters and guns blazing against the robotic army, Victor looked, and then he dropped his spear. As he looked, he saw red eyes. The robots from a distance looked like monsters, and he was stunned, and saw all these monsters and said, "What? This can't be. This has to be a bad dream." And then one of them was blasting a laser, and then Heidi pushed Victor aside and landed on top of him and said, "Get a hold of yourself, man. We're in war. Pick up your spear and fight." Victor was then astonished, but his courage now saved him and vowed to improve. He saw a small stream by a major river where Holly and some of the naval forces, comprised of different countries on the planet, were sailing to the other side where the main camps of the three LaFleur generals were to wage a ship battle. So Victor had a plan to get past the front lines of the Androsgan and Chaldean robot armies. Him and Heidi swam to get around, as the tanks and soldiers risked their lives on the front lines, giving it all to attack and distract the enemy. As Victor and Heidi reached the other side, they surprised the robots, and Victor, getting the spirit of his past life, as he used to time travel to defeat evil, became a true elder warrior, and him and Heidi together beat back the robotic armies. Seeing this, the soldiers, with their tanks now, and others, raced and rushed to the front lines to charge the enemy. Puff also led the march. It's this time that the Androscan forces used their Kichuru, that's another galaxy, robots to beat back and destroy the ships. But however, Heidi used her quick tactics to hide Tigeron forces, that were a type of Kozuchu species, to hide out on Mars for a while, and now activated them. Knowing that Mars was going to be the place of battle, I was able to destroy the Kozuchu robots before all those ships were destroyed, which deployed the troops within them to march on the ground to fight. This time, Golden Collagen was forced to fight. Now that Victor had gained the attention of Ricardo Guardian and his forces, the two confronted each other. Ricardo was stunned that Victor, an elder, was alive. And he said, "What? Victor? This must be another effect of the time disruption." Time disruption? What are you talking about? I don't know what you're talking about. You feel and say that you are of God, but you killed millions of innocents in a blink of an eye, without shedding a tear, without no remorse. You are false, and I shall defeat you. And so the two fought vigorously, while Heidi continued to fought off generals and other robots to cover Victor's back. At the same time, resistance troops had appeared, attacking G. Lucayan from different pockets of the galaxy that were dissatisfied with the LaFleurs. But G. Lucayan and the Guardians quickly disposed of them before they could be a threat. This gave the Allied forces of the Earth and Kozuchu enough time to defeat Ricardo, surround Collagen, and get to G. Lucayan. G. Lucayan was stunned that Victor and the Kozuchu, led by Heidi, got them so quickly, and then they were defeated. The Battle of Mars was won, and Earth had subsequently, along the help of Kozuchu, defeated the Empire, which lasted 1,000 years. Embarrassed by this, Princeton scowled at the fact that his empire lost. Him being one last descendant of David, vowed for redemption. However, unlike his other predecessors, he felt guilty for slaying so many, and so he wanted to atone for his sins. So he had an idea to hold a tournament, first an Androscan tournament, where teams of 3 were battled out from all across the universe for control of the Milky Way galaxy. This, he hoped that Collagen, G. Lucayan, and Ricardo Guardian would redeem themselves and win this tournament, and thus the Floor Empire will gain all of the universe. Victor and others, and all various other people from different galaxies, Churu, the Tecturan, Silmatrian Galaxy, which was suppressed by the Floors before, and a bunch of different people from all across the cosmos gathered for this first annual event. It was televised and broadcast all across the universe. It was a Reigns hit and smash. It was the most exciting thing that happened in the universe since the LaFleurs took over the universe over 1,000 years ago. The prizes were 2 great riches, which various people wanted for fame and fortune. Like the tech, who was being led by Duke, who was once a fierce criminal overlord, but he decided to turn his ways after he met his love, who was a saint of a woman, but however, had fallen into a strange illness. He tried so hard to go to the universe to find a cure, but he needed more money. this tournament offering great riches. It's enough for him to persuade him to go. Him, along with Rom, his relative, and Lauren, his chief bodyguard, and the former gang, decided now was the time to go. Others from the crew were led by Ricardo, his farm boy, our, our host, and Debbie, who always wanted to fight and lead troops, saw this to gain fame and fortune. Ricardo, self-proclaimed the best fighter in the universe, wanted to prove his name. Others from the team Sumimachen were of the Sumimachen galaxy, wanted to liberate their galaxy from the floor of oppression and over hundreds of years of fighting and slaughtering. They consisted of Morocco, who was a cutlass master, Ploit, who was pilot, who was a sniper, and Brissek, who was a big man and threw people, and it said he could throw a mountain. And the Closet team also participated in hopes of freeing their galaxy and hopes of bringing the Milky Way galaxy under their protection. This was Diva Puff, Heidi, Holly and Heidi, and Team Earth consisted of Victor and two fighters, two of the greatest fighters in all of China, Sao Tong and So Ho. The deal was still made and said the Chinese were to relinquish their control of the people and their different race systems and bring people based on good behavior and bring true democracy not only to China but to the entire world. And so the whole world watched as the fate of their planet was about to be decided by three unlikely teams. Well, the Chinese were Buddhists and did not understand Christianity, but Victor wanted to prove that the power of God was with them and to prove to them and the entire world. By the end they win, the whole world would turn to Jesus and accept him as the Lord and Savior. As thank you for saving them in this plight and to help the world realize that he died for them over 2,000 years ago. So the tournament was about to begin. And the first match was Team Earth versus Team Sudi. Victor took the lead as he defeated Malju easily. And then he also defeated Pilot and avoided Pilot's shots. And then he tied in Sao Tong to have a shot. And Sao Tong dodged the bullets and defeated Pilot. And then Sao Tong was defeated by Brissek. But Victor tagged back in and saved Sao Tong from beatdown and defeated Brissek. And thus Team Sumimachen was out. Princeton LaFleur watched the tournament very closely and vigorously, as there were teams that he vowed he does not want to win. One was Sumimachen, the other was the Team Lagoon, who the Lagoon family defeated the LaFleur Primes in another altercation with the LaFleurs, who was consisted of darkness, and the Lagoons were promised by heaven to rule the world, the one big world, which the entire universe was squeezed under. But that world was destroyed as they were betrayed by Mr. Cash, who was an Atlantean sympathizer and wanted money, and he was greedy. So the Lagoon family was cheated after all the hard work with the Rattler Sword and being there by Bolton, Lagoon, and all the rest of that. So the Lagoon family was spread across the universe. But they had a team also which consisted of Master Bent or something like that. Yamakra, who was a former thief, now was a fight for hire, and a next person. And they were fighting for riches to increase the Lagoon's money so they could reunite their family and get back at the LaFleurs for winning the universe yet again. And they got nothing to show for it. So Princeton was like, I don't want these guys to win, but we have to evaluate everyone because that was a part of the rules. And then the second match was between the Tag Team, with Duke single-handedly defeated the Lagoon family. The Lagoon team, and the Lagoon team was so disappointed that they didn't got the riches. And Master was the secret common ruffian of the Bankrun common ruffian, but he didn't want to express his common ruffian side. He wanted to keep it secret because he didn't want to. Um, he didn't want no one to know. He didn't want to accept it. The third match consists of Team Kichu as they defeated the LaFleur team. Team Kichu is led by Ricardo. After Debbie was defeated by um, G. Lucayan, Ricardo came and defeated G. Lucayan, Colin Collagen, and Ricardo Guardian. And Ricardo, that's Ricardo from the Kichu, the yellow whipmaster, fame rose even higher. And he is greatly pleased that he destroyed and defeated the Empire's team and kicked them out of their own tournament as they advanced to the semifinals. Next up, the Tech Duran were going to face the team called Zichu, led by Heidi. Duke was the cousin of Heidi, since Heidi was the daughter of Del, one of the strongest Tech Durans of all time. And they were cousins. Despite this, Duke was fighting for something more, and he vowed to show no mercy to anyone, including his cousin. Victor and his team, Earth, was there viewing it, and Victor was increasingly growing feelings for Heidi, as Holly, Holly went first against Rom, and Rom was trying to absorb her because Rom was like a half like cyborg, get rid of all this flesh and be like metallic and full of nanobots and whatnot. He was trying to absorb Holly, but Holly used her veteran skills and Blastus overcame Rom and defeated him. And then Duke came and halfway beat Holly half to death. And then Diva Puff had to come, and Diva Puff was defeated. And then Heidi had to come and avenge both her sisters. And then Heidi tried her best, but Duke was too strong. And with his might and his power of lightning and transforming and doing all these different things, he was about to defeat Heidi. He obeyed defeat Heidi, but he wouldn't want to accept defeat. He's going to kill her. And then Victor intervened and joined the tower for her. And thus, Earth was now responsible for the cause of Chu's fate. And Victor himself took on the entire team Tech Torrent. And then while Ron was quickly recuperating, Warren, who had not fought yet in the tournament, decided to face Victor. Victor, being inspired by love for Heidi and for the fate of their galaxy and his own, called upon the Holy Spirit to give him strength. He defeated Ron easily, and then defeated the now recovered Rom, as Ron was trying to absorb Victor to gain his strength, but Victor overcame it with the power of the Holy Ghost, and Rom was defeated. And then Duke came, and then the two battled out fist to fist, and then Victor picked up his spear eventually, and then they started to fight. And then after they fought, Duke was open, and Victor took in, and Victor used his special moves and defeated Duke. And thus, they were able to defeat the Dectaron single-handedly. The other two, Sal and Soul, was so shocked. And then Sal was getting, starting to feel inspired. Like, this is the power of Christians? Wow. This Christ is strong indeed. Maybe he is the way. And then he was starting to think that he should be converted. After seeing this, Princeton was absolutely upset, and he was hoping that the Kichuru won. Now was the semifinals. Team Ricardo versus Team Victor. Harvey host was a giant flowing head of the strange Kichu race. And Saul Tom wanted to face him, but Saul Tom was defeated because he didn't quite understand. And then after that, um, Victor came in and used an opening that host had, because host had could separate, and then the inner part of the face was separated because the face was like a stone, and the inner parts of the face was exposed, and Victor was attacking that, which weakened host, and then host was defeated by Victor, and then came Debbie. Debbie was coming, and so Soho tagged in to face Debbie, and then Debbie was defeated. But Ricardo, before Debbie could be defeated, Ricardo saved her and defeated Soho, and then Debbie tagged back in. So Victor then defeated both Debbie and Ricardo. Ricardo was stunned, shocked, and disappointed and furious that he was defeated by mere earthling, who prior to all this didn't even know that the Empire even existed. He was so embarrassed, and this semifinals took place in their home galaxy, even because these tournament was taking place in different parts of the universe actually. And then it came down to the finals. Team Earth versus Emperor Princeton. As Victor and the others met up to meet with Princeton, Princeton congratulated them for making it this far. And Victor, using discernment, could have seen a dark shadow over the Floor family that caused him to act the way they did. And he told him that despite he also sensed that Princeton was felt guilty of what their family was doing. And Victor said, "Oh, despite you feeling guilty, you still murdered millions without remorse." And then Princeton was like, "There were tensions between the US and Russia. Nuclear war will bring ruin to the planet. Everyone will be dead. The earth will be destroyed. I did you all a favor." And then he was like, "No. We pray and let things happen. For God is in control, and He will not let something like that happen. You are no God. I vow, after the day, not only our galaxy, but Causal Galaxy will be free from your tyrannic rule." And then Princeton was like, so I see. But you have to realize that I am not a fighter. For I fight with the UB. For they are an intelligent, robotic life form. But they will be my shield, my buckler, and my sword to stop you all. And so Soho went first against him. Was trying to beat out the shield, trying to figure out what these shield things was like. But he was defeated, and Victor came. And Victor was trying to get the answer, saying if you beat these UB, and then they defeated them, and then break their defenses, and then defeated them, because there was numerous of them. That's why it was within 3, because it would be unfair for a one-on-one fight with Princeton. And so they were fighting, and then Victor got his first defeat in the whole tournament by Princeton. It was up to Cao Tong. Cao Tong now was calling upon the Lord, the true God, and about the Holy Spirit now, since this tournament has opened up his eyes to the truth, and he was able to use his fighting skills and showing katanas and smoke bombs and defeating the shields, the UB shields, until there was only a few left, and then he was less cover for Princeton, and then he was able to attack Princeton directly until he could successfully knock him out. And then after he successfully knocked him out, the tournament was won, and then announcer was like, "Oh, stunning! After 1,000 years, the LaFleurs have suffered their first defeat. Both the Milky Way and Causal galaxies are now free. What an amazing tournament! Oh, the Rainiers are going through the roof." And defeated. Princeton looked disappointed as he let down his ancestor David. Victor told him, "But you family, you LaFleur family, must deal with the dark cloud over your heads. As for me and my people, we are going with the Lord. Excuse me, I have 2 galaxies to look after." And then Team Earth left. And then Victor went to embrace Heidi. They confessed their love. And Victor asked about Holly. And then Heidi was like, "No, Holly's gone." And so the two of them fell the moment of silence, and then they went off back home. And then Diva Puff and Soho were talking and was like, so, what do you think? What kind of child they'll have? And Diva Puff is saying, given their characteristics, the child's going to be a great leader and a great fighter. And so that was the end of that. Back in Utopia, David was consulting with Harold, one of the last great generals of the Androgan forces that also gained immortality and was David's right hand. They were discussing that the great time disruption brought back Victor, and then they lost 2 galaxies, and was now realizing, yes, indeed, this dark cloud has been over his head, and that the Suramatian might have not been the true enemy, because they wouldn't have this dark cloud and to slay themselves, and they trying to figure who this dark cloud would be. At the same time, Barba came to him and was saying like, and then David asked, where's Diana? You supposed to widow. And he said Diana went on a secret mission to Silmuchon, and she wanted to know what inspired the Silmuchons to start in this tournament, because you said that they were supposed to be, their spirit was supposed to be broken. And it's like, oh no, you're supposed to keep away from that galaxy. Knowing their Silmuchon's plans, about Diana being half Silmuchon and all that, she might be influenced. But Diana went to Yui Castle. The Yui were a new scholastical power, and now secretly the new heads of Silmuchon. She went to face them on her own, to fight. Doing that, the Yui clan consisted and was ruled by Ui Yui, who was secretly her long-lost older brother. They share the same mob, because Neo, as Diana will eventually find out after getting past the Ui's relatives and brothers and sisters, from big sumo wrestlers to boxers to 3 giant triplet daughters to Ui's Aunt Miss C to Ui's academic oldest sister Reen. She would discover and confront her brother, and she was a doubt at first that she had a brother at all. And then Ui Yui was describing their plan, that the plan was that Diana LaFleur would be influenced by Silmuchons to make up for all those times LaFleur's attacked Silmuchon, and then when Silmuchon returned, because he was slowly building up strength for 1,000 years and accomplished the Penjo plan to make a sword especially for him. Now the sword is his now, and since the plan was just to manipulate and use him, but Ui being the new leader of the clan and Silmuchon, is like, no, you're my sister, because before Neo went, because the heavens blessed Silmuchon, it would be the original Neo who was to be impregnated by your father, Diana LaFleur Jr., to have you. She wanted to experience what it was like to be with a man before she went on this mission, to meet her destiny. So she had relations with his father, Ambedusta, who was the original head of the Ui clan, Banderas, and then she went off. And then before she went off, she had Ui, and then she left Ui with his father, and then that's how he came about. And Diana was like, no, this can't be. My mom, I'm the only child. You keep on babbling about you and my brother, you and my brother. Like, you don't want to do this plan anymore because you want me to be with you. And then he was trying to explain to her that a dark cloud was over them and manipulating the floors and all this different thing. But he did figure it out. And then he decides a new plan to save the floors and possibly save the universe from this new evil that she accidentally caused. So the N1 proof didn't believe him. And then she wanted to prove to Yui that how we're in the universe in the first place It's not a fluke because she defeated a bunch of old guys that took over the universe after the Madonians. And the Madonians um twins, the son and girl were twin children. And so they fought. And she lost one round and then he lost one round and she won the second round and it was coming to a head and then they was doing this one move. A move of blast of energy. He was that Diana thought she was going to do because she inherited from her mother. And she used her hand, but Uwe was using his mouth, and then the two blasts, collided and exploded and pushed both of them back. And then Diana got up and said, brother, you're really something, Then she said, what? Oh crap, I said, brother. And then Uwe said, you see, sister, only your mom could have done that move. You learned it, inherited from her. Now your eyes open, now do you see? During your time, as you were conquering, did you not realize that you left Paul Hera out? Paul Hera. Diana thought to herself, oh yeah, I remember that guy. He was the reason that the Jedi survived. He rescued them. Yeah, he spared his life because he was a good fighter. I said, hey, get stronger. Maybe you fight again. Yes, he has been going stronger. Do you not realize the time disruption of Paul Hera's other form? The evil hand. Another alternate David LaFleur sent robots back in time to destroy him. An Antichrist. Daniel LaFleur paused. It's like, wait, that Paul Hera? Is this Paul Hera? And we shake his head, say yes. He has manipulated the flaws ever since, gaining strength to destroy the Pseudomachins. Well aware of our plan. I was hoping that you and us will destroy one another, for him to rise up and to take over. And so she then realized the part of the situation and what Paul Hera was doing, and realized that her mistake in sparing Paul Hera's lives have cost the lives of millions and tainted her own empire. And so Diana decided to call truce with the Pseudomachins and worked alongside her brother and confronted David, who had now realized his folly and was consisting of a new plan. And this time, the plan was to have a second tournament to lure out Paul Hera and his cronies to stop him and his plans. What was he really planning? Was the time disruption of Victor and Heidi getting together to eventually have a son who would be named Delator, the Dragon Emperor of the Culture Troop. Was that Paul Hera's main goal, to bring him back, to destroy what was left of the LaFleur and Pseudomachins after they confronted each other? Or was it something else? The new allies decided that a second tournament was necessary, a much bigger one, where she would be the prize, the final opponent, and her precious universe, what she worked so hard for, and what she ruled for over 1,000 years, would be the grand prize. Thus, will lure anyone, including the mysterious and elusive Paul Hera, out from the shadows.